We're in Monte Carlo then for the next round in the chase. Ocampo on pole from UK Ball and Lawless Leclerc. Then it's Oscar Folstad, Remy LeBeau, and Pablo Sierra. The Red Devils start 7th from Revo and Tonelli Gabo. Then it's Daniel Bogdasarov, Mohamed Awawi, and Marcus Nelson. Ica World starts 13th from Daf Sanchez and Tommy. Then it's Ahmed, Pierre Gasly, Catfish, and Babinus Jr. Ben Allen Lee starts 20th with teammate Anokyu alongside, and Zaylane starts at the back of the pack. You've only got a handful of races left in the chase. It's really the pressure point time as we're in Monte Carlo. All 5 lights go on. And we're underway in Monaco, and that's quite the start from both Leclerc and Ocampo off the line. Leclerc looking to the inside line, coming up through Saint-Devote. He's up in second already with Remy LeBeau right behind him. On board we go with the number 27, watching the Trackhouse man in front of him, covering him off, but now looks to the inside as they come out of Casino Square. Yellow flags already, and into the wall has gone Catfish, who's lost his front wing and has been given a 5-second time penalty. Hasn't been the greatest weekend for the Malaysian number 2 driver as they now barrel through down into the station hairpin. Marcus Nelson in 14th, and we've got a virtual safety car. Catfish is out of this race. This will be his first non-finish in his time back in the ERL, and Babinus Jr. went underneath him. He's a man in the postseason who really needs to get some points up. But Ocampo leads the way in Monaco, and Ica World out of this race. Bogdasarov also out. What is happening coming out of the Nouvelle Chicane? Well, that is what's happening. My goodness me, that is not a situation anyone wants to be enviable of. Ica World and Daniel Bogdasarov both out in Monaco. There was a front wing loose there. Ben Allen Lee has now gone himself back facing the right direction, but we might just see an entire lap run under the VSC, and we've got drivers in the wall down at Anthony Nose corner. Marcus Nelson in the pits now, but that's Sanchez and Ahmed both with front wing damage, and both now coming into the pits. Nelson seemingly also had front wing damage. We finally get back underway, but my oh my, what a hectic opener. Ocampo, however, leads about a second ahead of Lawless Leclerc, and Leclerc mainly in that Trackhouse Renault car by chance. Leo not renewing his contract in time did lead to the Trackhouse seat being wide open for a guy like Leclerc to take it, but it didn't seem like he was actually going to take it at all. In fact, it was his team, Hyperdrive Racing, who just advised him to maybe look out for any potential opportunities, and he's found an opportunity, and he's back in the ERL. He's making the most of it. Leclerc sets the fastest lap, a 1:7.183. He's in attack mode, striking distance, but the only place he can use the attack mode is into Saint-Devote, turn 1. Marcus Nelson sets the fastest second sector of anybody, 27.6. As Tommy resets the fastest lap, a 1:03, and a 1:02 now being set by Babinus Jr. in 13th. You're not really expecting too many overtakes here, but you are expecting a race of strategy and some chaos, especially if it were to go from wet to dry. Revo and Tonelli Gabo, the 2 Italians on the field, currently 8th and 9th, and they are the only drivers still in this race on the hards. They're expecting to go very long into this race. However, tyre performance will suffer because of that. It's quite the balancing act, choosing to run the hard tyres. As Leclerc going onto the main straight, fastest lap, goes to Remy LeBeau. Now UK Ball, the fight for 3rd and even 2nd could be very interesting to watch. However, that fight for the lead, I don't know if it's really going to start kicking off, because despite the Renault powertrain behind Leclerc being quite quick, Ocampo's got the DS and the championships that it says quite simply he is the man for the job. Ahmed, the man currently in 19th, by the way. Marcus Nelson now sending a fastest lap. There have been rumours swirling that McLaren could replace the number 22 man after this race for whatever reason. It's very unclear what reason they have to replace him, but is that possibility of him having commitments in other series, and that means that he wouldn't be able to compete in the ERL, and that's understandable. It's not ideal for any team to lose a driver like Ahmed, who, well, 2 wins out of his first 4 races. That is something that we may never see again. But he might just be one of those drivers who comes and then goes, and that would be unfortunate to see. 14 laps remain here in Monaco, and it's Carlo who leads the way from Leclerc and Remy LeBeau on board with the yellow and red DS, DHL and Ready. And as he now comes through the tunnel, it's just really interesting to see. Ocampo's not really faced competition in Monaco today, but at the same time, competition is not the name of the day in Monaco. This race is known for being one of the few races on the calendar where the goal isn't to just make up as many positions as you can. As well, here's the example of what to give. Zay Lane has been given a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. I don't know who that would have been caused with. Could have been with Babinis Jr., I'm not too sure on that. As Carlo now begins the 6th lap of the day. Could be with Alan Lee, but of course that could have come earlier on. Might have just been a clumsy move from a relatively green driver in this league. 13 laps to go. And we could start to expect to see some of the first real stops as in comes Babinis Jr. going on to medium tyres. 6 laps on the softs. We're going to see how long the mediums can do. The hard tyre guys in Revo and Gabo, they're going to pit onto softs. However, the question is, will they do a 2-stop? Because I'm not too sure on what those hards can do, or these mediums. 63% for Ocampo on lap 6 of 19. There is a possibility that he could go to about lap 8, which could mean that if you can go to lap 8 on those, the hard tyres could go as long as lap 13. If the hard tyres can make it to lap 13, then Revo and Gabo will be running a 1-stop race. That's a big ask for them, however. We've got 12 laps to go, as we're now on lap 7 of 19. And just gonna put this out there, the support on the channel through these last few days, while I haven't really been uploading as much as I want to, as the other Venturi of Tommy comes into the pits, the support has been insane from you guys. And the main reason I haven't been able to get this race out early is because the entire Speed World project that's going on, it's not just me who's working on Speed World, it's also Sebastian and U-Cable. Like Campo and U-Cable, they're both working on Speed World with me. Basically what they've done is they've allowed me to use highlights of some of their races, as the race here in Monte Carlo going quite well. Tommy leading this pack for 14th as Sanchez has found his way up into 14th. Yellow's in the 2nd. That's further ahead. But behind these guys is that Mohamed Awawi who's gone off. There's someone who's gone off and potentially might have gone damaged. The Red Devil's coming to the pits. It's not for him. I don't know why we had yellows there, because I don't think anyone has lost their front wing. Although for it to be Jay Lane again would be absolute scenes. Side by side between Tommy and Ben Allen Lee. Tommy has just had a fastest second sector of anyone, and Ben's gone very deep through there. You gotta manage your tyres a lot better than that. 8 laps have been done on the mediums, and they're only now beginning to show signs of wear. The softs on Leclerc and Remy LeBeau and Sierra's cars, they've all done 8 laps as well. I think this is the limit for the softs. I don't know if you're going to be able to do too many more laps with these soft tyres. The mediums are even looking to show some signs of their age, but it just looks like all the drivers getting through this narrow, tight and twisty street course as well as they humanly can. As up the hill of Anthony Nose comes Leclerc, and into the pits he comes. We expect, yes, Remy LeBeau and Pablo Sierra all to come in with him. U-Cable's in as well. And we're on to lap 9. So now the hard tyre guys of Revo and Gabo, all they need to do is make it to lap number 12 or lap 13, and they should be good to the end of the race, because we know for a fact they're going to put them onto softs. All they need to do is manage their tyres a lot more. But as we go on board with Revo, the tire wear right now doesn't look to be that bad on the hards. Yui comes in and Sanchez comes in for a second stop. This is not going the way of the number 72 man. And we've got a full course yellow, and that's Sebastian Ocampo. Sebastian Ocampo out of this race, into the wall goes Falstad, who takes the lead. And also into the wall, Revo there, and that's Gabo facing the wrong direction. Virtual safety car has been called out, and Gabo has to get himself out of there quickly, or else that's going to happen. The big one in Monaco. Oh dear, virtual safety car's ending, so they say, but I doubt that. Another VSE been called because Gabo is out. And flip, that's Leclerc out of this race. 3 drivers out at the same turn. And it's all been caused due to poor tyre life expectancy. Revo's come in, possibly a few laps earlier than expected. He's onto the softs. Falstad's coming out there as well. At the same time, UK Ball is coming through. Anthony knows he might only manage 3rd here, and it could be Falstad leading from Revo and UK Ball. It is Falstad leading from Revo and UK Ball. The top 3 all World Drivers Champions, and more drivers have crashed out of this race. Ben Allen Lee out, and we've got an extended virtual safety car period. His front wing is down there, and we are down to 15 runners in Monaco. 9 laps to go, and we get back racing finally. My goodness me, that's insane. But you expect this to happen in Monaco. This is the race that every driver wants to win. This is, out of the crown jewel events in the ERL, the London E-Prix, which has been here since season 1, the Monaco E-Prix that we're racing here today, and the Shanghai E-Prix, which hosted the first ever ERL race. All of them are very important, as we've got yellows. That's Babinis Jr., who's facing the wrong direction, but he's got himself back out onto the track. He spun for a second there, got tagged by possibly even his teammate. Fastest 3rd sector goes to Revo, but we don't expect the number 7 to try and take a race win here today in Monaco. He's likely to come into the pits again, but it'll likely be for another set of softs, because it'll be around lap 16, lap 17. So going on to medium should be quite redundant by the time he has to pit. But he's closing in quite a bit. An OQ set to 101.866 for a new fastest lap set by the Nissan man. Pablo Sierra set to fastest first sector of anyone in 7th. And I'm just going to point this out about UK Ball. He's net gained positions because the guys in front of him, Leclerc and Ocampo, both out. And Remy LeBeau is now behind him by quite a considerable margin. There's the Red Devil now coming through the chicane. He's gone very, very deep through there. Very concerning to see drivers hopping over the curbs. You usually see them go too deep. Falstad new fastest lap 101.383 with 7 laps to go, as we see UK Ball climb the hill and now descend through Anthony Nose and onto the main straight, as he now eyes up the line through Saint-Devote. And we've got a full course yellow. Babinis Jr. out. That's a weird place to have an accident. Babinis Jr. up on 2 wheels, as Marcus Nelson comes in for his second and possibly final stop. We're back under the virtual safety car again, with 14 drivers still in this race. Only 4 drivers today will not be scoring points if they finish, and to be completely honest with you, I think some of these drivers have had quite the scruffy race, especially considering that some of these men are in the postseason. For example, Babinis Jr., Ocampo, Bogdasarov, those drivers all fighting for the Chase Cup. They're all out of this race, and it's a race that has been historically one race that can decide a championship in the regular season of the ERL. This has happened multiple times. 13 of 19, and it is still Falstad leading the way in that Husky Chocolate DS McLaren TGR car. He comes through the station hairpin, the slowest turn on the calendar, and it's often a turn on the opening lap that has caused a loss of retirement. It caused the retirement of Catfish, but that seems to be the only time we should see too much action down there. Just pointing this out again, Mohamed Awawi, he is one of the oldest drivers on the field. Is one of, I believe, 2 drivers to come from Malaysia. And he's currently in 6th. He was here back in Season 1, and he did quite a good job then. As Enoch Q gets 5-second time penalty for colliding with the back of Pierre Gasly as they come through the tunnel. And we've got 5 more laps in Monaco. For a lot of these teams, they really just want it to be over. As it stands, there are only 2 teams that would be scoring double points. Those being Power Motorsport and Renault, who both have the drivers... Both have only one driver in the chase. One of them is only there because of the fan vote. And for U-Cable to be doing such a good job in the chase, despite him being 14th in points, that's quite something to note. As we see Enoch Q head down, now up through Anthony Nose. And Volstad, haven't really talked about him too much. Didn't have a great qualifying, didn't have a bad qualifying either. But currently leading this race with Revo, who had a pretty mixed qualifying, but made the most of all the opportunities that he had. This is going to be a race that decides the outcome of the chase. Because I don't know what Ocampo, what Bogdasarov's, or what Babinis Jr.'s hopes of taking home the Chase Cup is right now. But I'd say it's a lot lower than it was when this race got underway. And that's a bit of blistering on those softs. U-Cable comes into the pits. He's going to go onto the mediums. But I think when Revo and Volstad both come in, they might go onto soft tyres. Which will mean that this pit stop for U-Cable will only work if there's no more virtual safety cars. If there's another virtual safety car as Sanchez comes in for his 3rd stop of the day, if there's no more virtual safety cars, then that might work as an undercut. As U-Cable's come out just ahead of his teammate. As Nawawi fighting with Pablo Sierra side by side. They go and they're both in the wall! Sierra facing the wrong way. Nawawi wall riding to get himself back on track. Yellow flags have been cleared. Sierra trying to get himself facing the right direction again, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it in due course. He's dropped down to 10th position. He was in the top 5 before this, and with 3 laps to go, Volstad still leads from Revo and the Red Devil, and it's a virtual safety car. Tommy is out. My goodness me! That's a massive shunt! That's one of the largest shunts we've seen in Monaco. It's a virtual safety car. The Red Devil comes in and will capitalise on this cheap pit stop, and that elevates his teammate Remy Lebeau up into 3rd. Mohamed Awawi also comes in. Pablo Sierra out of this race. That's another chase driver retiring from this event. We're down to 12 runners in Monaco. We've almost lost half of the field. And Q's come in as well. This is going to decide the chase. 100%. Into the wall goes Volstad. Virtual safety car's ending. Volstad's facing the wrong direction at the Nouvelle chicane. Just misses Revo, who now takes the lead in Monaco. Revo's in the lead. He started this race in 8th. He might come into the pits, however. And the gap has been completely flipped before the virtual safety car. Revo was behind Volstad by 5-ish seconds. He's now ahead of Volstad by 3. It's a swing of 8 seconds. That single incident under the virtual safety car could have just decided this race. Revo now leads ahead of Oscar Volstad and Remy Lebeau. However, the top 3, surely they have to come into the pits again. And surely U-Cable will take victory in Monaco. Back in Season 10, this was the race he won to get himself back into championship contention. In Season 18, this was a race that he won and should have seen him in championship contention. In fact, it left him leading the championship before Abuja and London. However, he did not take the championship that season, as we look to Revo, who's certainly struggling on his tyres and will certainly come into the pits at the end of this lap. Volstad, well, he's seen a devil before. He might just want to watch out for something similar again. Zay Lane came into the pits earlier on. That's why he hasn't got an interval showing. In comes Revo. to start the penultimate lap. He's going on to softs. He might try and go for the fastest lap. Falstad's in as well. Remy LeBeau, surely he's going to have to come into the pits as well. And now, U-Cable. He rises through Anthony Nose, but will he be leading the Monaco E-Prix? The Monte Carlo E-Prix, rather. Remy LeBeau is taking the lead. Revo comes out of the pits, and he's just ever so slightly ahead of his first teammates in U-Cable. But Remy LeBeau is currently leading this race. The Red Devil takes seconds. What a move from the number 99. He's alongside the three-time World Drivers' Champion as they now head through Mirabeau and into the station hairpin they go. It's Revo from the Red Devil and U-Cable, the fight for seconds. But Remy LeBeau on the penultimate lap leads in Monaco from Revo and his own teammate. How about that? But he's still got a lap and a bit to go before it's all been wrapped up. And in fact, poor tyres are the name of the game for Remy. This could be one of the single closest finishes in the ERL's history, because I don't think Remy's going to come into the pits. He's being hassled by Revel, and he's going around the outside as they come through Anthony Nose. It's Revo to the race lead with attack mode. On the final lap, he's taken back the lead. Revo leads from Remy LeBeau and the Red Devil, and for LeBeau it just didn't seem like it was going to click for what he considers his second home in the championship. It looks like the only wins he'll have so far will both come in Argentina. It's a fastest burst sector for Revo. Look at this, the Red Devil looking to the outside of his own teammates. A mutiny forming at Kiro Raceco as they are looking for a double points finish. And look at that, it's second for the Red Devil on the road. He's got a 5-second time penalty, however, and that leaves Remy vulnerable to U-Cable behind as they come through the new chicane, and he's in the wall. Slide job for Remy LeBeau. Falstad looking for a way to get past U-Cable as well, but out in front as he comes through Anthony No's turn, and a virtual safety car's been called as Remy LeBeau is out of this race. Revo wins the Monte Carlo E-Prix with a fastest lap of under a minute of 59.566, and I believe that's a new lap record in Monaco. The Red Devil came home second, but that will be second. He's 6 seconds ahead of U-Cable in third. Then it's Falstad, Nawawi, Pierre Gasly, Sanchez, Inocu, Ahmed, Marcus Nelson, and Zaylane. The 11 finishers in Monaco. Your non-finishers, the 11 drivers who didn't finish today, were Remy LeBeau, Pablo Sierra, Tommy, Babinus Jr., Chiclerc, Ocampo, Alan Lee, World, Bogdasarov, and Catfish. And this is going to have some serious implications for the chase. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. But this is the podium. Revo wins in Monaco from the Red Devil and U-Cable. U-Cable, that tyre strategy seriously should have worked if it weren't for the fact that in Monaco you should expect more virtual safety cars than there are finishers. Then Falstad in fourth from Nawawi and Gasly. Then it's Sanchez, Inocu, Ahmed, and Marcus Nelson, with Zaylane being the last of your finishers outside of the points. Your non-finishers were Remy LeBeau, Pablo Sierra, Tommy, Babinus Jr., Ocampo, Gabo, Chiclerc, Alan Lee, Ica World, Bogdasarov, and Catfish. In the chase driver standings, Revo leads from U-Cable and Remy LeBeau. Then it's Ocampo, Sierra, Nelson, Falstad, Babinus Jr., Bogdasarov, Sanchez, Tommy at the back, with the drivers now mathematically not in contention for the Chase Cup being Tommy, Sanchez, Bogdasarov, and I believe that should be it. So that has been quite the return to the chase. But we'll see you guys next time then when the ERL Formula E Series returns.